What's up, you guys? Thank you for clicking on this video. So as you can tell by the title, some questions from the TFW 2005 and Hasbro interview that I kind of want to go over here. Some question and answers that are a little bit juicy to talk about for a video and give my extended thoughts and breakdowns and theories. So let's get down to the nitty gritty. First question here. TFW asks, Hasbro, will Age of the Primes get a sub name in its second year or just continue as is? And Nate from Hasbro says, still just Age of the Primes. So this kind of goes in line with what we've been hearing about this subline in terms of leaks and rumors over the last year or so, that this is just going to be a duology and it's not going to be a trilogy, and they're not going to lean into the sub names and different packaging brandings. It actually might have different packaging. I don't think we've heard anything on that, but it's a possibility it's just going to be the same packaging next year as well, which leans more into the theory that I've been having over the last however many months on the channel, that they're turning the Transformers collector lines into something more of like a Marvel Legends, Star Wars Black Series, or G.I. Joe Classified sort of thing, where it's just this one ongoing line every year for collector higher end releases, and then you got different stuff every year for the kitty toys and whatever. I think they're leaning more into that, and it might just converge into just everything being studio series going forward, maybe in like 2027 or 2028, because I don't think we've gotten word on what comes next after Age of the Primes, and we've already been getting listings for 2027 stuff, and it's only been studio series, so it makes me think that possibly my theory could be correct here, that everything is just going to become studio series in the next couple years. But again, I could be wrong. I'm just speculating here based on the info that we have so far. But regardless, very interesting that Age of the Primes is going to be a duology and it's not going to get a sub name, because there's a lot of content you could base a whole 3-year toy line off of, especially with the 13 Primes and the lore behind that and all the characters you could do, especially with the whole multiversal angle you've been having the last 4 years. You could definitely stretch this out into a trilogy, but for whatever reason, I don't think we've gotten an answer so far. Hasbro is just choosing a duology with no subnames here. So we're going to have to wait and see on what the future entails with mainstay collector lines for Transformers here with Hasbro. And another question and answer I want to go over here is, so TFW asks, how will the concept series be grouped? Like, will it have different subgroups, or will it just be an umbrella for everything? And Evan from Hasbro answers with, it's kind of an umbrella, but essentially if it existed for media that could exist in studio series such as movies, games, or comics, it would be under the concept series in studio series. Now, I just want to say before I go into my discussion and theory on this, I might have gone over this in a previous video, but I don't know, guys. I can't remember. I make so many videos on the channel, and I did not feel like going through like 20 different videos this month trying to pinpoint what I talked about. But generally, I do have a good memory. So if I went over this, I apologize, but I don't think they would want to do a sub name within an already established subline in studio series already. So I wouldn't want them to do this. I definitely do feel like concept series and just studio series as a whole is just going to become an umbrella for everything built under a studio, which is everything Transformers. So at some point, I do think everything is going to be studio series, because it just sells so well once you have it on under that studio series labeling and packaging, and you get that engineering in there. It's something that I feel like could be happening here, but especially with concept art series, you're probably going to get some G1 concept art stuff, video game stuff, movies, obviously, different cartoons or comics potentially. So it's going to be really exciting. I'm really happy that they're keeping up with this concept art series. And the final question and answer I wanted to go over here is, so TFW asks, do you want to do more of the main Devastation cast for Gamer Edition? Evan from Hasbro says, yes, 100%. Nate and I kind of talked about that pretty often, about bringing in more from Devastation, just because we all love that game. We love the style, we love the look, and we think there's a lot of potential there, a lot that we can build out from. So yeah, definitely, perhaps there's more planned that I can't confirm or deny, but yeah, we would definitely like to dig more into Devastation. So there's quite a bit of a Devastation fan base in the Transformers community, so I definitely do feel like this is something Hasbro wants to delve more into. I don't know how the Devastation releases this year have been selling. It seems like they've been doing pretty well for what they are, just some repaints and, in my opinion, a mid-deluxe Optimus release earlier this year. Regardless, I actually would like Hasbro to delve into some other characters and some new molds for certain characters. I could see for that 86 Sunstreaker coming out, they're probably going to re-release him or repaint him in a Devastation cell-shaded colorway. I could definitely see that happening with a lot of G1 molds, especially new molds over the last couple years, just so Hasbro can recoup that cost and get some repaints and re-releases out there for these characters, because obviously they're going to become hard to find and all that stuff that goes on with these Transformers releases over the years. Overall, I think this is a good idea, leaning into more Devastation, because it is a real fan favorite game. It's the last major console game we got over 10 years ago, so it would make sense, especially in this downtime before we, hopefully, I mean, fingers crossed here, I don't know if we are going to get it or not, but our next console game, it's been a lot of downtime, so you would think Hasbro would want to take the opportunity to catch up on some video game figure releases, which it seems like they are. Hopefully we get more Fall of Cybertron and War for Cybertron stuff as well, because it does seem like they're kind of pulling back on that and just leaning more into Devastation this year, because it's easy repaint potential, easy money, and you don't have to put a lot into releasing those figures, because again, they're just repaints and maybe slight retools here and there. So I don't know, we're going to have to wait and see. I'm kind of worried about the output here, that there could be more Devastation than like War for Cybertron, Fall of Cybertron, or movie game stuff going forward, because again, it would be cheaper to just do some repaints and a new mold here and there, as opposed to just 100% new molds for a lot of these other video game characters. But I don't know, we're going to have to wait and see. But yeah, guys, let me know down in the comments below. How do y'all feel about the answers that Evan and Nate from Hasbro gave here for TFW? And yeah, guys, thank you for watching this video. Catch y'all in the next one. Bye.